And even though I think this slowly transitions to the next topic I want to talk about. I saw this on Crystal's story about some dude reacting to a video about a man saying that Kevin Samuels is the guy that bullies the bullies, and the black women are being the bullies. Now, the guy that was reacting to himself said, "Fellas, if you feel like that about a black woman, then you are a bitch nigga." Now, Crystal, since it came from your story, and I looked at it and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it, and you obviously want to talk about it too. So I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about that whole video? And basically, do you think that men feel bullied by women, especially black men feeling bullied by black women?
All right. I wouldn't. Okay, so this is going to sound harsh. I don't really filter my words, but a man feeling bullied by a woman that he has to protect. Come on now. Are we in a relationship?
I'm sorry. I gotta laugh.
Man, and I feel bullied in some way. Why? Because you didn't talk about what you needed to talk about, or stand up for yourself, or put up boundaries. Don't blame that on the woman you fucking picked. Blame that on yourself for not opening your mouth, because you'll definitely try to open your mouth to talk to another bitch. So let's not act like we cannot open our mouth when it's time to open our fucking mouth, because then that means you're not a man, you're a boy, and you're still trying to balance your emotions. But don't bring that shit into a relationship. In fact, don't even be in a relationship. And to narrow it down to the black woman, shut the fuck up, okay? Racism and color always comes into play when people do not want to take responsibility for their own suffering. Fear is something you make up on your own. Do not blame the black woman, and don't blame you not having balls enough to open your mouth and stand up for yourself, or picking the wrong woman where you have to feel like a victim in your own fucking house. So at the end of the day, that whole topic was fucking ridiculous. And Kevin Samuels, he says some shit that's right. He says some shit that's very disrespectful. But at the end of the day, these men that's following Kevin Samuels don't even have half of the understanding of what Kevin Samuels is saying. That's another thing. The people that's following Kevin Samuels is just using him as a tool to stay complacent, to stay ignorant in their thinking. And then they are running to a specific group of women and just dropping a load of fuckery. Can we stop doing that shit? That's all I have to say, because that shit was ridiculous.
I say these so-called gurus, these internet personalities that call themselves trying to give romance or relationship advice, fuck all these niggas. Stop listening to these niggas in general. Be it Kevin Samuels, Derek or Darren, whatever the fuck with that bullshit from a few months ago, whoever the fuck it is. I don't care who it is. Fuck all these niggas. Ignore these niggas. First of all, a lot of the shit they spit is a bunch of generalized bullshit. Let's start with that. Second, if you actually pay attention to these niggas, if you really know anything about these motherfuckers, their own romantic lives aren't even together. The fuck I look like taking any type of love or romance, any type of advice from a motherfucker. Your own situation is fucked up. You got X amount of baby mamas. You've been married and divorced God knows how many motherfucking amount of times. I don't know how Steve Harvey still has a motherfucking fan base. Explain him to me, please. Come on.
He got a bald head.
He's married. He is married.
And that's going to come to an end at some point or motherfucking other, just because he's Steve Harvey.
What I noticed about these guys, they have like a MGTOW energy about them.
Bruh.
And with that, all the audience is nothing but women hating dudes, son.
The He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Straight up. And that's why when they argue, it's so general. Like Father said, they're always general. And I've seen one of those videos she had in a story before. He was talking to some guy. And the bald one now, he's doing nothing but bitching and complaining. The dude in the bottom, he's trying to find solutions. And the one on the top is his show, and he's just dragging this thing. That conversation did not have to last that long. He's just pulling in this. He just wants points, saying shit like all men would agree with, and smart women would agree with, just to keep it going, just to build that. You could see that from this, because there's no substance in what he's saying, and he's using black women as the bullseye for this shit. A black man, insane.
I just got one more thing to say about this topic. I know it's getting a lot, but people who follow Kevin Samuels, it's a good example to state what I'm going to say, because I had to bump into one of Kevin Samuels' followers, but they put a topic for random people to answer. So they said, okay, well, what do you think about Kevin Samuels? Of course, I'm going to be truthful. I said his delivery of the message is very disrespectful and is only going to coincide with narcissistic people. What was the question? It was about Kevin Samuels, the person or the author. He said, what men are saying is that women talk to men in any kind of fashion. Does that mean that the majority of women are narcissistic? Okay.
What kind of question is that?
Okay, but I responded. And this is the type of motherfuckers that follow this guy, okay? But I'm just saying, I said yes. Anyone that cannot explain their perspective in a respectful manner and berate someone else, no matter the sex, especially when they are on a large platform, should not be considered to speak to the masses. What's interesting to me about the response of your question is that you attacked me about that it was about Kevin Samuels. Was it not? Somehow now it's about the majority of women. I see your biased stance here. That's what I'm saying. Men who are scared of women and cannot put up boundaries, this is how they do. They say stupid shit or ask stupid questions and respond angrily. It was nothing angry about my comment, but he made it about something that he's heard about. I'm not here. I'm not your therapist. Let's stick to the topic.
I just think it's very interesting that you bring that up, because I've seen like this type of mentality a lot, and the type of men that Kevin Samuels appeals to are the type of men that get angry when they supposedly put in the effort and the woman still ain't feeling them. As a man, like when you get rejected by women, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to just take it to the chin and move on. The 7 billion people on this earth, you know what I'm saying? The conquest is supposed to be what drives you to go to that in the first place. And
I'm going to do you one better, Fano. Women outnumber men by, I believe it's a 3-to-1 ratio.
I mean, yeah, and even with that, you still got motherfuckers that think one rejection from one girl is the end of the world, and I hate women now, so women are terrible people because my feelings and all that shit. That's somebody that hasn't really processed their emotions. That is someone that
incels.
Like that is someone that has not really understood their emotions. And if you're not teaching, like, because in this society, as we all know, men are literally taught to
be got confidence in their motherfucking self. That's a weak ass nigga.
Yeah, but the thing is, the weak ass niggas is the default of this society. That's what society wants you to be. Society wants you to be a beta male. That's some beta male ass shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it this way. Ever since
when
you
I
was a
thinking
child,
of woman, if woman want me, that's your L, baby.
Yeah, but Dion, think about it. When you was a child and you watched and you had other children with you, and as young boys, the shit that you have seen, the shit that gets played in your ear, the shit that you watch on TV, the shit that people advise you as a little boy as you're growing up into adulthood, and the shit that is constantly put into these young men's brains, like, bruh, you know, I'll give you a very good example. Like, y'all remember that it was a very big thing. Like, there would be a girl, and this would be on TV all the time. Like, there'd be a girl, you know, she's pretty. The guy would want to talk to him, would want to talk to her, but then the girl would always go for the tough guy or the macho guy or the masculinity guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That type shit, they project themselves into those type of images. So when they get rejected by women, it's like, oh, you're just reaffirming the stereotype that I've been indoctrinated with, that y'all just go for the bad guys, y'all just go for the dudes that ain't shit. So I'm going to do that too, and then I'm going to hate women because obviously, you know, I was the hero and I got rejected. You know what I'm saying? It's main character syndrome all over again. And that's why you got so many bitch-ass niggas out here sitting there crying because some girl said no.
Hey, shout out to Arnold Shortman.
Wait, who?
Arnold Shortman is a nice young boy who's about 10, 11 years old. They used to get bullied by a girl named Helga Pulaski.
Oh my God. Arnold Shortman.
Oh my God.
Hey, I can't stand you, Q.
Go sit in the corner. I never knew that nigga's actual last name.
It was a joke. It was a joke in the last movie that his last name was Shortman. Because his grandfather always called him Shortman.
Right.
I know where you got that from.
It was like we never knew his actual last name. Like,
that is the only person who should ever feel like he was getting bullied. And even then, he played it cool. He was the coolest person on the show, and he ended up getting.
But the whole time, Helga wasn't off with the nigga.
No, hold on, because I have a question, and Crystal, this question is for you. So, as a woman, right? If, like, let's say there's a man that you know that you like, and you know you're starting to get to know or whatever, which would make you more upset? The fact that he's fucked multiple women, or the fact that he's still friends with multiple women that are on his phone on speed dial right now? Which one?
Oh, the friends, because it's an emotional relationship.
Thank you.
I'd rather have a dude if he was promiscuous or, you know, sowing his oats. I get it, all right, but I would rather him be not emotionally involved with these bitches versus being emotionally involved, because being emotionally involved with a bitch can evolve into something bigger, especially if they're weak-minded and they're pretending to be strong just for your performance. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really going to be able to tell. But, you know, if I know he's the type of dude back in the day to fuck him and leave him and know that he's going to stick with me, then it's all good. That was your past. We can keep it pushing. Just keeping it real.
Thank you for that. And the reason why I asked that question is because I made a similar statement years ago on my Twitter, and everybody and niggas got upset when I said this. And I'm like, bruh, if you the type of nigga to have sex with multiple women, like, yeah, you know, you was being a hoe. That's a hoe phase. But if you are the type of nigga to have a whole bunch of women in your phone number, and like, let's say for the sake of this example, you didn't fuck any of them, that's a successful hoe right there. That's a nigga that can get women. That's a nigga that's secure within himself. So it makes him that much harder to pursue, because he's always going to have options, because that man genuinely understands what it means to treat a female right, and what it means to, like, you know, what it means to just know women. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes, you like, again, they get rejected, they get upset, they can't get the numbers, they don't know how to talk to women in the first place. Everything has been manufactured for them. So, like, they take their masculinity away from a society that does not teach masculinity in the first place. That's why hyper masculinity is a thing, because they gotta fucking overcompensate. And it shows with niggas like Kevin Samuels sitting there talking about, I'm a high value man because I make 6 figures and I can attract high value women. Like, bruh, at the very end of the day, you as a man, manhood is about fixing your mistakes whenever possible and owning up to your shit whenever you fucking make a mistake. That is what manhood is, because life is a journey. Life is hard. You're supposed to go through shit so it will strengthen you in order to face the next thing. It flows. Life flows. It's not a sprint. It's not a race. It flows. But because we live in a fucking inadequate society, young boys are taught to believe that the faster you run, the more women you're going to get, the more money you're going to get. And then when they realize that they're not running fast enough, they turn into little bitch-ass beta male incels and blame it on women because, well, you know, you were supposed to love me when I was down. You supposed to deal with me. Shut the fuck up.
But not only that, it's kind of like when you have a guy that
It's one thing to build with a motherfucker, but if you ain't got nothing to build with,